All right. Howdy, Senate.
Howdy.
First of all, I am very sorry that you are all here this evening. I will try to get us out in less than an hour, hopefully. That's my goal, because I want to go home too. I like how the room is slightly louder because of all the new rings, so congratulations to you all. And we will start with a period of open roll call.
SVP Brooks.
Howdy.
Chief Justice Khanna.
Howdy.
Speaker Wang.
Howdy.
Me. Chair Johnson.
Howdy.
Chair Wolf. Chair Abdullah. Chair Day. Howdy. Chair Black.
Howdy.
Chair Economides.
Howdy.
Chair Wilson. Senator Amin. Senator Anderson.
Howdy.
Senator Andrus.
Howdy.
Senator Arambula.
Howdy.
Senator Banks.
Howdy.
Senator Benke.
Howdy.
Senator Peterbaum. Senator Bredmeyer.
Howdy.
Senator Brown. Senator Camp. Senator Castleman. Senator Christie. Senator Chunga. Senator Clark.
Howdy.
Senator Collins. Howdy. Senator Compton. Howdy. Senator Cook.
Howdy.
Senator Cox.
Howdy.
Senator. Do you interest?
Howdy.
I'm gonna get it. Senator Edmondson. Senator Evans.
Howdy.
Senator Hale. Senator Hogue. Ali Hogue. Senator Jillian Hogue. Senator Hernandez.
Howdy.
Senator Higuerani. Senator Hong. Senator Hull.
Howdy.
Senator Jacobson. Senator DeYoung. Senator Krogh. Julie Krogh. Here. Senator Olivia Krogh. Senator Lisa Baya. Senator Little.
Howdy.
Senator Maples.
Howdy.
Senator McKay. Senator Maloki. Senator Monroy. Howdy. Senator Moody.
Howdy.
Senator Moore. Jordan Moore. Howdy. Senator Luis Moreno. Sorry. Senator Musall. Senator Ogier. Senator Pardo.
Howdy.
Senator Parker.
Howdy.
Senator Peterson. Senator Phillips.
Howdy.
Senator Ramirez. Senator Robeloso.
Howdy.
Senator Roberts. Senator Rossi.
Howdy.
Senator Salazar.
Howdy.
Senator Serrato. Howdy. Senator Shahhussaini. Senator Smart. Senator Siegel.
Howdy.
Senator Sweet.
Howdy.
Senator Tilson.
Howdy.
Senator Tran. Senator Walker.
Howdy.
Senator Walther.
Howdy.
Senator Warnke. Howdy. Senator Westbrook.
Howdy.
Thank you. We will now move into a period of invocation and pledges of allegiance led by Chair Economides. Please stand.
Okay, we can all bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the ability to gather as students tonight. Lord, I ask you to take away our worries and our fears this week. Watch over every student as we tackle exam week and end of the weekend. Let us all have a blessed and successful meeting tonight. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I honor thy Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right, and now we will move into a period of the mission statement, reading of the mission statement and ID honor code by our longest serving senator, Chair Day.
All right, the mission statement is, the Texas A&M University Student Senate represents all students in order to enhance the Texas A&M experience within our university and communities through research, legislation, and advocacy in accordance with the core values of our institution. And Aggie does not lie, cheat, or steal, nor tolerate those who do.
All right, thank you. And please remain standing. We will now move into a period of the singing of the spirit of Aggieland.
Someday most the proudest folk of the school living so grand, but there's a spirit in every tone, It's the spirit of Aggie land. We are the Aggies are we. True to each other as Aggies can be. We've got to fight, boys, we've got to fight. We've got to fight for maroon and white. After we boosted all the rest, they will come and join the best. We are the Aggies are we. We're from Texas A&C.
All right, please be seated. So we will now move into a period of open forum, starting with recognition of myself. So I'm just going to this down. All right, come on. All right, howdy, Senate.
Howdy.
We're gonna make this short and sweet. We got our new fish shades, super excited about it. Tonight, and this is Suyash. She's going to give you all a brief introduction, and then you'll meet the other two next Wednesday during our General Assembly.
I'm Suyash Gupta. I'm a public health major in English.
Woo! Questions. So, does anyone have any questions? Okay. Thank you. Oh, okay. Chair Day. Chair Day, Finance. So, question, because you don't know this, but she might. So, our fish aid is going to be given to a committee. They're going to stay in that committee their entire year, or are they going to switch around? So the current plan is to have them basically rotate amongst me and Pro Tem Cruz. So I go to a lot of meetings during the week, and I'm hoping that whoever's available for a meeting, they can just come with me, so they'll really get to experience like what the speaker does. They'll also be helping with administrative duties with Pro Tem Cruz whenever they're available, and then the rest of the time they're going to be picking a committee of their choice, and they'll be drafting legislation alongside the chairs and of course alongside all of you. We're planning on appointing them as ex officio officers at our next General Assembly, which just means that they have the ability to ask questions as outside entities and not as voting members of the body. So they'll basically have the same amount of power that SVP Brooks has during meetings. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, great, thank y'all. Next, we will be recognizing Jacory Clark as an off-campus student senator. You have
Well, howdy, Senate.
Howdy.
So I want to first start by saying it is awesome to be inviting you guys again. I've been a part of Senate for 2 years, so to be able to come back and see all of your faces, it's awesome. The reason why I'm standing for you all tonight is because I wanted to kind of share with you the reason why I stepped down from the speakership. I know that you all needed to know this, and you need to hear from my mouth, so that's what I'm doing tonight. So last year, this is going to be a little difficult. Last year was super difficult for me. In the fall, my great-grandfather began to deteriorate from liver cancer he had been dealing with since February 2016. And so during the fall, he went from being able to talk, being able to walk, being able to do anything, to not being able to do anything at all. And so that was one thing that happened. And also, October 14th, which was a Friday, one of my closest friends from my hometown, somebody I had been neighbors with all my life, someone who I would always hang out with when I came back from home. He passed away from a car wreck. He fell asleep at the wheel. He hit a pole, and he was brain dead for a while, and then they pronounced him dead. So all of that was going on last year. A lot of that affected my desire to not only be involved in Senate, but in BCA, my grades slipped, and also my health declined in some ways too, because of some of the things I was going through. And so because of that, I was not going to run for Speaker or run for Senate at all. And so after I let people know my decision, people that I really respected and trusted came and said, you know, Jacory, I don't know. They didn't, and keep in mind, they didn't know anything that was really going on with me. I didn't share it with really anybody because I'm myself a strong person. I don't like to burden other folks with my own stuff. So I didn't tell anybody. So because they thought, Corey's just not running for speaker because he's just not passionate or anything. And so people started getting my ear, started to talk to me, say, hey, you need to run for speaker for these XYZ reasons. And so I decided to change my mind. And so ran for Senate, I ran for speaker, took on the job, but as I did the job, I realized I was still dealing with those same things that I was dealing with outside of the speaker role. But the difference was I had this huge responsibility that I had to do, not only for me, but for this entire body. And so over the summer, I stepped down. And let me tell you why it's the best decision. Number one, you have an awesome speaker in Jasmine Wang, someone who is hardworking, cares so much about the job, and someone who's already done a great job and will continue to do a great job. And secondly, you needed a speaker to be all into the job. I can tell you that I would have been able to give 15% because of all of the other things that I was doing. And I didn't want to do that. And I know a lot of people wouldn't want me to do that, and I know that would have failed y'all. So I stepped down. And last thing before I relinquish my stand, I am coming back as a regular senator. I want to work with you all, want to fight with you all to make the Aggie experience better. But I didn't tell you all this for you to pity me. I didn't tell you all this so that you can look at me differently, but I told you because you deserve to know. And I am okay. I am all right. I don't know if you all believe in Jesus Christ, but I do. And so he takes you through some things because he not only wants to make sure that you trust in him, but to show that you can do these things. And so I am stronger because of it. Some of the things that I've been through this year. And although I would not want to go through them again, I have learned so many lessons about myself and about my resolve because of it. And so I am so happy to be back with you guys, and I am ready to do the work of the student body. So I will love to answer any of your questions, but I really do. And I will answer all questions that you all have. But I do want to move on. I do want to just be really center. I do want to do what's best for the student body. So with that, I'm open for questions.
Are there any questions for the presenter? All right, Senator Sweet.
Senator Sweet, local arts person, to quickly preface. Thank you for being honest, and I know it takes a lot of courage. Just thank you for that. But as a senator now, what are you looking forward to most working with us? What issues? Is there any issues that come to mind?
Definitely. Number one, and this is the biggest on the docket. So since the 6-8 session, which I've been in this and I've been 2 years, and 6-8 session, my first session, we have been trying to pass the idea that instead of putting Butyl in the process of giving out test code notes, we want to have some type of process that is outside of Butyl. Because if folks you were in the 6-8 session, and I think Jasmine, you were too. You're at the end, right? Yeah, at the end. So I think some people were part of the conversations. Administrators from Butyl actually came to us and said that this is something that we support. This is something we want because it will make sure that we can run more efficiently. And so that's something that I'll be working on. That's number one. Number two, there's something that me and Kaylin talked about. Last spring, about making a type of traffic, what would it be called? Traffic, some type of, okay, so basically you get a ticket. For your first ticket, we have a thing.
Traffic forgiveness. Parking.
Yeah, parking forgiveness. So basically what it would be is that for people, first-time offenders of, a traffic violation, they can go through something similar to, defensive driving. It won't be that, strenuous, but it'll be like a quiz to learn the traffic rules and stuff. And if you were to do that, you would be able to get your first traffic offense forgiven. There is support for this, and it's something that we'll still have to look into and research, but it's something that I think we can get done. And so those are two big things that I'll be fighting for. And also, quick note, I am still, although I'm not speaker, I still am an old senator, and so I've been here a while, so if y'all need any help with anything, I will be here for y'all too. So, but yeah, that's it.
Are there any other questions for him? All right, seeing none, the period of open forum has expired. We will now move into a veto presentation by SVP Brooks. And I know that, not everyone in here has been through a veto presentation, so go on. I'm just gonna go ahead and explain a couple logistical things. So everyone read the email, right? I really hope everyone read that email, because if you didn't read the email, you're gonna be super confused. But SVP Brooks is going to be presenting why he vetoed the legislation, essentially. So it's basically what I mentioned in the email. He'll get 10 minutes presentation, 5 minutes Q&A, and then the Senate will have the opportunity to overturn that veto. I do not recommend that because the bill itself is unconstitutional, so there is no reason to overturn that veto, and he'll mention that as well. But whenever you're ready.
Well, howdy everybody. So I guess Jasmine said it all in the email and just now. Simply put, it's unconstitutional. We can't operate like that. Organizations have rules and regulations for a reason. There's a much greater process that has to go on into passing a budget for our committees so that it's fair for everyone. Some of the things that I think were left kind of short was that committees were not able to appeal the decisions of the allocations that we wanted their individual committees, and it's the whole process with them appealing that, and then going over that, and then voting on that, and rehearing everything. So basically, the bill that you're going to be seeing is everything that should be this, except just properly done and properly formatted. So it's the exact same thing that we'll be seeing in a little bit that thankfully has been sponsored and put up. But for the most part, it's really easy, just a simple, straightforward veto. I'm so sorry. Vetoes are supposed to be like, it's very justifying. Like, yeah, I just did this, show up those people that just argued with me for a while. But unfortunately, we had to do this time just to stick to the Constitution and stick to the rules that we govern. And honestly, I really don't know what much more there is to say. In Jasmine's email sheet, Speaker Wing's email sheet included the part of the Senate bylaws that dictate what was being violated by that. So really shouldn't be too much more to it. I really hope there's not much more to it, and I'm so sorry that y'all all had to come in here tonight. Trust me, I have complaints I wanted to go after too. But we get through this, and so with that being said, in the sake of efficiency, I'm going to yield 2 questions.
Are there any questions for SVP Brooks? All right, seeing none, we will now move into a period of debate. So debate is not going to be the way it is the way the debate normally works, but the question that we are debating is whether or not to override. So if you do choose to debate against, that means you don't want to override. If you choose to debate for, it means that you want to override. So is everybody clear on that? Okay. Is there any debate against? All right, seeing none, debate is one-sided. We will now move into a period of, Chair Day. Mm-hmm.
Chair Day, Finance. Can you explain one more time which way we should vote if we want to get on with the meeting, or how that's working?
So the question that we just debated was, so there was no debate. So now for voting, you will vote for will be to override. So that means that the Senate will be able to make the veto reverse. And then if you vote against, which will be nay, it will be that you want the veto to happen. Is everyone clear on that? I know this is a little bit confusing. Any questions at all?
No means go.
Yeah, no means that the veto stays. Okay, all right. So thank you, Chair Day, for clarifying that. We will now move into a period of voting. All those I don't even know how to phrase this actually. All those in favor of the veto, please say aye. Yeah, that works. Okay, all opposed?
No.
The veto stands. So now we will move into a period of new business, starting with Senate Bill 7002, the SGA budget fiscal year 18 bill. Would the bill presenters please make your way down to the floor? was a little rocky. All right, you have 10 minutes starting at howdy.
Howdy. I'm so sorry I have to do this again. I'm really, really sorry you guys didn't hear tonight. All right, so we're back here with the bill. Luckily, I actually got an email from some admin that made me change stuff anyway, so that's our, I guess it's good that we had to like come back here, because then I don't have to, anyway. So, we're here again with the same bill, just a couple things have changed. And I guess this time I'm gonna actually talk about stuff, because now I have like notes. So, if you don't mind, will you please scroll down to the first big block of like table? Just keep going. Cool, 12 can, scroll a little more. A little more, a little more. That'll work, yeah. All right, so the amount that they're getting approved for is $807.32. What we've cut from them were some stuff in operations, some stuff in programming, because one thing, they looked for something reusable and they wanted to buy something that's very like expensive, and we're always pushing towards sustainability. And the rest of it was just because of budgetary restraints, we restricted everyone to programming because we want to push money toward operation things and like keeping organizations going and alive. And sometimes that means we have to cut back in some places. Okay, you can scroll to the next one. This is ARC, Agri Recruitment Committee. Scroll more, please. Thank you. They're getting $775. They're pretty self-sustaining already.
No, keep on.
Okay, they're self-sustaining already, and so.
Do you have a motion, Senator Clark?
Senator Clark, off-campus residences, under personal privilege. Is there any way that we could turn one light off? Because I'm having a hard time seeing how much money there is. Is that possible?
I actually.
I know what.
The bill's also in, the.
It's been sent out, yeah.
Okay, actually that is.
Okay, I think that's good.
That helps.
We're good? Can y'all see it now?
The bill is also in the drive. It's under new business. So if you would like to see it on your screen, it's under new business.
Are we good?
Thank you.
Please stay in order.
Okay, cool. So we give them $775. They're self-sustaining already, like they're operational without our help. So we chose to cut from programming, just like we did everybody, and some from operations because they don't necessarily need us. Next, please. There's like 18 of these. I'm really sorry. All right, so this is ASB, their alternative spring break. We cut from them from programming because, like I said, everybody got a cut from programming. I'm just going to say that now, and everybody got some cuts. So you can go to the next one. All right, so big event, we cut some from printing and copying, so it's up in operations because last year they didn't use all their funds in that category. So, next. Career closet, we cut programming, same as all the others, and we cut a little bit from operations because we have budgetary constraints. So, yes. Carpool, not almost all they asked for, but we cut a little bit from their fuel ask, just to make it fair to all the organizations. Can't give only one everything. Okay. COSGA, just got programming cuts. Development, diversity, and EIC, just all got programming cuts. You can skip down. Just keep going. Move this more. And more. Okay, next one. This is exec, or is this EIC? This is EIC. EIC just got programming cuts. Exec just got programming cuts. The Shades got a little bit of a cut in their operations because they did not, I don't think they spent all their supplies and materials last year. So each of these also to turn in, or most of them choose to turn in a report that tells us how much they made last year, how much they spent last year, how much they're projecting to spend the next year, where they spend all their money. So we do base it off that too. Which one's this? That's what she said.
Gilbert.
Cool. GOC was programming cuts. I think the rest of these were all just cuts in programming because we tried to do that even across the board. So yeah, the rest of these are just programming. So yeah, we try to be as fair as possible to everybody. And some of these, okay, so whenever we sent these out, we said that most of the time if you're asking for money for your phone lines, you ask for $312 because you pay $26 a month. But I got an email from Allie McConnell here in student activities, and she said there was a certain number of organizations where they were cutting the amount they had to pay for the phone lines from like $312 down to $297 or $234 or whatever. So now the ones that were cut down is reflected in here. So that's been changed. We did leave some money in our budget left over. So if any organization comes upon like really hard times and needs like a little bit of quick money, we can be there for them. And with that, do you guys have anything else? With that, I'm open for questions.
All right, are there any questions for the bill presenters? All right, seeing none, I will be sending that to the Finance Committee. All right, we will now move into a period of committee reports. They will be pretty brief since most of the chairs aren't here, but starting with Pro Tem Cruz.
Hey guys, just been making placards, doing absences, doing some administrative stuff. It's really cool. I'm about to talk to my ops committee about what I want from them and stuff like that. I'm going to schedule a time for us to have a meeting and chat a little bit. Other than that, if you have a placard issue or anything like that, just keep coming to me and let me know. Other than that, have a good week.
All right, are there any questions for Pro Tem Cruz? Seeing none, Chair Economides.
Chair Economides, Legislative Affairs. We had our committee meeting last night. Keep in mind, we've got a lot that we're going through next week. So just be monitoring your group meet and your email. Sorry if I blow it up this weekend. I'm going to try my best and all too. LR is having a meeting at 7 o'clock on Sunday. If you guys would like to go, especially if you have legislation you're working on, that would be beneficial. Is that good with you?
Yes, so.
Okay, cool. If not, I'll check with Brandon and I'll let y'all know. Sorry, threw you under the bus. But other than that, yeah, we'll see y'all next week. Please be there. And call me, text me, whatever, if you have any questions.
Are there any questions for Chair Economides? Seeing none, Chair Day.
Chair Day Finance. Howdy. My committee, just those letters, just send those in. Since this is going to be passed hopefully next Wednesday, I want to have those sent out to the organizations as soon as possible. And that's it.
All right, are there any questions for Chair Day? Seeing none, Chair Black.
So we didn't have a meeting this week because this was our meeting time. Well, we're going to do another one, an update for pretty much the whole body. For those of y'all that have seen the issues in White Creek, something that's going on is the new White Creek Commons is opening in January. Keep an eye out for that. They're currently looking for food designs and all sorts of fun stuff to put out there. So that's just something fun to take back to your constituents that more stuff is being was.
All right, are there any questions for Chair Black? Seeing none, we will now move into a period of executive reports, starting with, Chair Johnson. Let's see.
I just did rules and regulations instead of a meeting on Friday. We'll be talking about the code. There's some things that we passed in the 69th session that will apply to our elections for the 71st session that we're going to have put into the code. They weren't in there right now, so they weren't going to be confused. In order to not confuse people running to fill slots in the 70th session. That's what we're going to be talking about.
All right, are there any questions for Chair Johnson? Seeing none, we will now move into a period of executive report, starting with SVP Brooks. You have 8 minutes, starting at Howdy.
Well, howdy everybody. So just some updates on things that are going on this week. I yesterday helped run a collaboration with Youngstown State University and Ohio's student government where they collected U-Haul full goods for Harvey relief efforts. And they were basically supposed to send it to my office, but something went wrong and it ended up at a random warehouse in the middle of Houston. So I picked up a U-Haul yesterday and drove all the way down to Houston and picked it up myself. And then I found a charity because I had a charity here I was going to work with, but obviously I'm not driving back to College Station for it to go back to Houston. So I found a nice, sweet church in the middle of eastern part of Houston who took it with open arms, and we had a great time. Got that done, so that was a really good role from Texas A&M University going on towards Houston, in good collaboration with a good research university over in Ohio. Outside of that, still working on a mental health campaign that my EVP Michael Zimmerman has begun. Really trying to get that developed. Starting with now my diversity commissioner. She's going to be working on recruitment and data analytics for the SGA, so we can figure out who we are, what we look like, and really where we can go from there, so we can help start bettering our practices, tailoring our organizational needs to see what we do in terms of meeting the student body. So outside of that, there really shouldn't be too many more things, since this has only been about a week since I've last seen y'all. Been busy, but all good things. All good things. With that, I yield to questions.
Are there any questions for SVP Brooks? All right, seeing none, we will now move into executive reports with Chief Justice Conant.
Hi, Senate. The only real update I have to give you is that, as I told you last week, I was picking a Vice Chief Justice, and I've done so. Some of you may know him. Corbin Newman, a member of Cadets and an economics major, class of 2019. Corbin was nominated by unanimously. He was confirmed at the beginning of the 69th session, and it is my humble belief that Corbin Newman is one of the most brilliant, hardworking, and most dedicated human beings I've ever come across. I'm honored to know him, and I'm honored that I get to work with someone like him. And my hope is that everyone across the judicial court will be able to, and maybe even you, and hopefully you will get chances to interact with him, will be able to get inspired by a person like that to learn what it truly means to serve others and put others before yourself. I'm also very excited. My freshman year, I was a fish aide, and this is the third year that the judicial court is getting our own fish aide, Caroline Grace. I'm so excited to have her on board, and I can't wait to work with her over the remainder of the year. That is all I have. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Don't break rules, don't put your personal egos before the needs of the student body, otherwise you'll have to deal with me, and you don't want to deal with me, and I don't want to deal with you, so let's keep it that way. Thanks, and good.
All right, are there any questions for Chief Justice Conant? Seeing none, it's now my turn. All right, howdy Senate. So I have a good number of updates for y'all. So first of all, this coming Friday, Bobby and Chair Day and I and some other major leaders here at A&M will be meeting with Dr. Strauser to discuss some tuition changes for 2018-2019. I will give you guys an update of what comes with that meeting. And if you guys are interested in tuition, which I know a lot of you are, I'm sure everyone got the campus-wide email. There's going to be 2 tuition hearings next week. There's one on October 2nd, which is Monday, in Rudder 301 from 5:30 to 6:30. And then there's another one on October 10th in Rudder 601 from 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. They're the same thing. They're basically just there to accommodate people's schedules. So I would really recommend that as many of you attend as possible. A lot of the change that happens with tuition, that gets, even if it's a $25 increase, if we don't want that $25 increase, the first step towards implementing that is showing up. And making your presence there. So I will be in attendance at least at one of them. I know Chair Day will probably be in attendance probably at one, if not both. So please, if you have free time, please attend because tuition affects everyone. So a little bit about the UT versus A&M game. I have gotten a lot of questions about this, and I'm here to address it. So Bobby has been in conversations with administration and with athletics for a really long time, and basically the game is more or less not feasible as of right now. And this is something that is not a decision that is made by the students. A game this big, that would be a decision made by someone. It would be made by the system, and it would be made by the university ultimately. And that is something that we have no control over. So even if we were to write a resolution, it would not go anywhere. If you choose to write a resolution, you're more than welcome to. I don't see any point just because it's not going to go anywhere. And there is a game scheduled for 10 years down the line. I will say that. So I mean, that's more or less, I think, all that I really have to say on the topic. So a lot of you have asked me, like, if you can write it. Yes, you can write it. I just don't think it's going to go anywhere. So that is my recommendation. That's top staff's recommendation. So also, just a couple of quick shout outs. I wanted to shout out Chair Economides. Her committee has been doing so great. If you're in LA, you should definitely pat yourself on the back. They are going to be presenting 4 bills at the next meeting, which is a really big
big deal. So everyone else needs to catch up to that. And then also just shout out to everyone who's working so hard on legislation. Your work and your proactivity does not go unnoticed, and you are appreciated. Also, I know a lot of people have showed interest in creating t-shirts for Senate and PR for Senate. If you're interested in getting involved with that, there are some t-shirt selections that are in the office from like all different brands, Field and Comfort Colors. And if you want to take a look at that, you can. That's available. And then, of course, I'll see you all for General Assembly on Wednesday, October 4th. And if you have legislation to present at that meeting, please send it to me by Sunday at 6 p.m. to my Senate Speaker email. And that's all that I have for y'all. So I am open to questions.
Does anybody have any questions for Speaker Wang? Oh, Chair Day?
One question. Hi, Chair Day Finance. Is there any way, I know that it got sent out in an email previously to all students, is there any way you can please send out those dates for the tuition hearing?
Yes.
Everybody?
Or you can, even, if you would like. Okay, all right, sounds good. Okay, any other questions?
Not Chair, sorry, Senator Hernandez.
Senator Hernandez now. I do not know if you know the question to this, but what is holding up the Anthem Texas?
More or less, I would say that like the general answer to that is that this is not something that we have this is not something that we have anything to gain from monetarily, because we make so much money from our regular season. And I think that when we're looking at something like this, there needs to be something to gain from it on our end as well as Texas's end. And that's probably the primary reason. Of course, I can't speak for the administration and I can't speak for the system, but that is my assumption going off of the inaction. Are there any other questions?
SVP Brooks?
Point of information, or just whatever this ends up being,
Please direct all your questions about the UT and games to him because he's the one who's been in this conversation. So I'm really just that.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, seeing none, this concludes the period of executive reports.
All right, we will now move into a period of closing roll call.
Okay, SVP Brooks.
Howdy.
Chief Justice Khanna.
Howdy.
Speaker Wang.
Howdy.
Chair Johnson.
Howdy.
Chair Wolf. Chair Abdullah. Chair Day.
Howdy.
Chair Black.
Howdy.
Chair Conmides.
Howdy.
Chair Wilson. Senator Amin. Senator Anderson.
Howdy.
Senator Andrus.
Howdy.
Senator Mbula.
Howdy.
Senator Banks.
Howdy.
Senator Benke.
Howdy.
Senator Birnbaum. Senator Bredmeyer.
Howdy.
Senator Brown. Senator Camp. Senator Castleman. Senator Christie. Senator Chunga. Senator Clark.
Howdy.
Senator Collins. Senator Compton. Senator Cook.
Howdy.
Senator Cox.
Howdy.
Senator
Howdy.
Senator Evanson. Senator Evans.
Howdy.
Senator Hale.
Howdy.
Senator Hogue. Senator Hogue. Ali Orgeland. Don't see either. Senator Hernandez.
Howdy.
Senator Hingrani. Senator Hall. Senator Hull. Senator Jacobson. Senator DeYoung. Please stay quiet. Senator Julia Crow.
She's nodding.
Senator Olivia Crow.